Okay. Alrighty, I'm soap. Or, well, I mean, I guess it's pretty self-evident. Anywho, I guess I'll just show you how to make subs today. So I'm gonna go through it, no editing, nothing like that. It's just gonna be me, you know, as if I was normally doing it, except I'm just gonna avoid some parts like voicing it. So I already voiced these three um, before. And I guess to start off, I'll open up this. You can pause the screen if you want to look at all this. I highly recommend reading it all. That way you can gain some more understanding of why I do the things I do. So anywho, that should work out well, I guess. And then here's a little thing. I kind of just whipped this up real quick. I didn't really put in like a ton of process into it or thought, but if you ever need help with affirmations, this should be able to help you. So you can also pause the screen to look at this as well. Now, to also back up the stuff I said in the Q&A thing, here's just to show how many people were using my sub Koa 2.0 at April 8th. And if we open up results, you'll see that, well, there's quite a lot of them. And if we look at, let's see, view details, you can see that most of them are, so we had like 43, around that much, for the time that I said this. And this just means like roughly 80 people potentially using it daily at that time. Okay, so let's get on to it. So I always use Audacity, and well, for me it tends to shove a bunch of shit in my face, but that's whatever. So I'll start off with this. I'll normally voice my affirmations, so I just like record, and I'd open up like a notepad or something on the side with my affirmations, and I'd just go through them, speak them all into here, and then I'd save that as a raw file. I'd usually call it something like this. Anywho, so for today, I'm just gonna take those affirmations because they're already spoken. Don't need to worry much about it. And what I normally do is I just Control A, and I look down here. It says length and center of selection. So right here, 758. So I'm gonna go to where around 758 is. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Maybe better to, yeah. And right there, there's a pause between the affirmations. So I'm just gonna take this entire section, and I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna paste it into a separate channel as soon as I get to the end. So that's gonna be stereo. That way we have two segments of audio. Now I typically go for -10 now since I did that testing, and 80 to 90 to 100% right, 80, 90% left. I try to go two channels max of affirmations, because otherwise too many on top of each other will just cause a lot of clutter, and you're not going to understand the affirmations at all. Now you might be able to understand 3 channels with 1 in the center and 2 on left and right, but it's hard to say. So now that those are both set to -10, I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'm going to take my separate file. This is the mask that I tested with the audibility. So I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to drag that into there, and that should just be the whole thing. I'm going to leave that file on my Discord in a sub-making channel. I don't want to cut this just yet because I'm going to also add on want amplifier. There's 2 versions of it because one of them is a segment of you affirmations and one of them is a segment of just normal affirmations. So I'm just going to cut these both, and I'm going to paste them onto the end of here. That way it works out fine. And we're going to zoom in a bit so I can make the audio more properly split. Oh, gotta read this. Yeah. We're just going to copy that right there. We're going to paste that into there. And then we're pretty much good on this part. So we're going to zoom out and we're going to cut this to length. So the total length is going to be 930-ish. And after that, real simple, just going to save that. I'm just going to clear all that and just put my name right there. That way people know it's mine or I made it. And then I'm just going to close this. You can do some separate things if you want different things within your subliminals, like you could add binaurals on top of it. I have some stuff in music that are binaural-ish that I sometimes use. I usually don't because, as you know, they alter brainwave states, and you can't maintain a certain brainwave state for a prolonged period of time, not to mention if you're working or something like that. A theta brainwave state is not one you want to be in. It could have a lot of accidents. Anywho, and you could also be really sleepy. So now that sub's made, I'm gonna just go into my customs folder. I'm gonna drag that out, and that's pretty much gonna be it. And for just kind of showing what I meant by the layering it more than 3-4 times. This is a raw affirmation file, no mask, nothing on top of it, just the affirmations layered 4 times. This is what it sounds like for the first bit. Yeah, like, I'm sorry that you're just gonna end up with a lot of unconscious clutter, and it's just not gonna go well. You can probably understand some affirmations, but it's just not, it's not gonna go well. Anywho, that's pretty much the gist of it. It's really simple, not hard. It's time consuming in some cases, as affirmations can take a good while, not to mention voicing them, but it's pretty easy. I highly recommend making your own subliminals, as a lot of subliminal... Okay, let me just put it this way. Subliminal messaging is inherently a brainwashing technique that was initially experimented with in something called MK Ultra, which was a CIA experiment for brainwashing, brain control. And that just goes to show the nature of them. And these things will change your beliefs, your values, your whatever it might be, if your subconscious is properly stimulated with the affirmations. And a lot of submakers, they will inherently put negative things such as loyalty affirmations or affirmations for you to give them money or things of that nature, purely for the benefits that comes with that, like more money just coming into their pockets. So be wary of the subs you use, and if you ever have the chance to, make your own. This is coming from somebody who makes subs and also, makes money off of them. It's just, people need to realize that you may think that you're acting a certain way normally, but you could be under a brainwashing effect of maybe loyalty or admiration, or maybe even spending money. I've been in cases like that where I've spent a shit ton of money that made absolutely no sense on submakers before. A good example of this is somebody who is called Merc, or Kira, in the sub community of the male side. And he had a lot of negative affirmations within his last couple subliminals that, led to him being exposed. One of those being things such as Patreon money affs, and that led to him making, several $1,000s through that. Uh, Despite most of the people using his stuff being teenagers who have no real amount of money. It just goes to show how much they can affect you if it's done properly. Anywho, that's pretty much all I have to say. Be cautious, be wary, make your own stuff if you have the potential to, and it's not that hard. Don't pay people a lot of money for this. It's not worth it. It's never worth paying people money for this, unless it's a very small amount. Ready. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.